Hello and welcome to Sports Tonight. I'm Cecilia Mogbe, right here in Lagos. And of course, Austin Okonakpa is on the sideline, so he will not be joining me on the show tonight. But tonight's show, yes, it's going to be a bomber package simply because we'll be talking about the UEFA Champions League and also the NPFL, that's Nigeria Premier Football League, all the games that went down on the weekend. And of course, it's midweek games, so many games to look forward to on Wednesday, Nigeria Premier Football League, and also NWFL. We won't be looking at any games tonight simply because the league is on break. They've gone on break and it will resume on the 18th of February. And the reason is one of the clubs from the NWFL reported that they have more than 5 players in the Four Corners. That's the under-20 women's national team. Remember, they are preparing for the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup. That's what they're preparing for. So some of the players are there. And of course, that club, well, the organizers did not mention the club that have more than 5 players in that squad. And that's the reason they put the league on break. Interesting, right? And of course, we'll be hearing from Mikel Arteta what went down against Manchester United. And of course, why he had to start doing a rallying call that they have to play the rest of the season with conviction and courage. He was actually talking like a motivational speaker to all his players simply because of the love they've had. But he says he was surprised by that loss to United. Were you guys surprised? Absolutely not, because against Liverpool ended goalless, against Nottingham Forest ended goalless, so it was coming. Okay, we'll be hearing from him. And also, well, Pep Guardiola has been talking about the UEFA Champions League. They need to win their game and also hoping the result goes away for them to get into the next round. That's the round of 16, be among the playoffs. There's 13 on the log, which is really tricky for Pep Guardiola and Manchester City. But 15 teams already booked a spot in the round of 16. And of course, the only teams that we know, yes, that have booked their spots the only teams that we know that have already qualified automatically without having to go through playoffs happens to be Arsenal and of course Bayern Munich. Arsenal are unbeaten so far in the Champions League phase, and Arteta wants to maintain that for tomorrow. Yes, it's a loaded package and so much more to look forward to on the show tonight. But first, we are going to be starting off with the NPFL, that Nigeria Football Premier League. We're going to be looking at the games that went down at the weekend and also take a look at those games that will be played midweek, which is Wednesday. And the big one that actually happened mostly, I mean, of all the games we talked about on Friday, the one most of us were looking forward to happens to be, well, Shooting Stars and, of course, Benin Insurance. How did it end? Benin Insurance were on a 9-game unbeaten run when they went into that game. And what happened? A 71st minute strike that they conceded was all. And then that unbeaten run was over. And, of course, Shooting Stars won that game. And Rangers had the highest numbers of goals. That the game, they won 4-2. And for what Remo Stars, their struggles also continue. They couldn't get 3 points from a newly promoted side, Kun Khalifa. So much to look forward to on the show tonight. But first, if we have results coming from the weekend, we can just take a look at that briefly before we delve into the game for midweek. And of course, there's so many results to look forward to. All right, I'm going to take a look at the match day 22 results. Remo Stars and Kun Khalifa, that game ended 1-1. So Kun Khalifa to score first, and Remo Stars had to come from a goal down to be able to get that draw. There's so much needed. Remember, they are defending champions, but so far they aren't playing like champions at all. For Abia Warriors, they lost at home to Nasarawa United, who are now second on the log by virtue of this away win that they collected. Rangers International resounded one against Warri Wolves, ended 4-2. And Niger Tornadoes beating Enyimba. Enyimba not having a good season this season at all. This game ended 2-0 in favor, of course, of the home team. And this particular game we're all looking forward to, thinking Benin Insurance might just extend their unbeaten run to 10, but it did not happen because Shooting Stars ensured that we ended right there in Ibadan. Wiki Tourists and Kano Pillars, this game ended in favor of the home team 2-0, and Academy Warriors and of course Kurodu City, Academy Warriors winning by a lone goal in that one. And of course, you know, Rivers United, of course, they were not in action, that's the reason, but they're still topping the table. We can quickly take a look at how that table is before we take a look at the games that will be played on Wednesday. If you look at the table, it's looking really, really interesting because Abi Warriors that were second going into match day 22 are now third on the log by virtue of the fact that they lost to Nasarawa United. And Nasarawa United, after 11 matches, 22 games they played, and after 22 matches they played, they've had 11 wins, 5 draws, and 6 losses. Of course, goal difference of 5, and the points they've collected 38. When you see Rivers United, they have a game in hand, but then they have 41 points, so they're 3 points clear of the second place Nasarawa United. For Abia Warriors, after 22 games, 11 wins and 4 draws, 7 losses, and 5 goal difference of 5, and they are on 37 points, just a point ahead of Nasarawa United, are just a point ahead of third place Abia Warriors. And for Rangers, that resounding victory actually gave them something to look forward to. After 22 games, 10 wins they've had so far. You look at the top 4, they have more wins than any other one. And of course, the draws, they've had 6, and the losses also 6, and the goal difference of 7, which is better than what Abia Warriors and Nasarawa United have. And at the end of the day, at the end of the whole thing, they have 36 points from that 22 matches they have played. And just look at the bottom 4. Not surprised by what you have here. Kun Khalifat, of course, they're trying to battle relegation, but what they did against Ramos Stars will give them a big boost, you know, trying to avoid relegation. That's if they can, because we played 22 games already in the season. Now, looking at the bottom 4, Kwara United, after 21 matches they played, because Kwara will be playing Rivers United in the rescheduled game that they will be playing. They've got 6 wins out of 21 and 6 draws. Of course, the losses, that's where you have, that's where they drop most of the points. 9 losses so far this season, and a goal difference of -2 and 24 points in all. And that's followed by Plateau United. After 22 matches they played, they've won 7 and the draws 3, but they've lost 12 games. They're the teams that have lost more games in the MPFL this season so far. And the goal difference, of course, they are owing a lot of goals, -8, and they are also on 24 points. But by virtue of that -8 goal difference, and that's why they are here in the bottom 4. And Kano Pillars, of course, that's a team you don't expect to be in this position, but they've had issues this season, from, you know, crowd trouble to them being fined, deducted points, and banished from their home ground. So it's a whole lot going on at Kano Pillars, and that's why this is a team that might just be playing the championship next season if they don't win most of their remaining games. So after 22 games they played this season, winning 7, and of course the draw 4, and you have losses 11, and the goal difference of -8 and 22 points overall. For Kun Khalifat, the bottom of the table, after you have 22 points, 22 games they've played so far this season, the winning happens to be 4, and the draws 7, of course 11, also same numbers of losses they've suffered, just like you have the Kano Pillars. And the -9, they've conceded more goals than any other team this season. Of course, that's the reason they're actually at the bottom of the table. And of course, they are on 19 points. So interesting. And when you look at the league table, the top 4 and the bottom 4, there's so much to play for in the MPFL. But there's some games that actually went down, you know, this weekend that we will be taking a look at, especially the game between Remo Stars and, of course, Kun Khalifat. You said the stadium wasn't really pretty, but then when you look at MPFL and the way and where they play most of their games, you'll be wondering what's currently going on. But yeah, you're looking at the stadium. Yes, it's not pretty, but the win, the draw was actually pretty, simply because Remo Stars needed that draw so much. And look at the way they were celebrating so much. Because if you take a look at what they've had this season, they have not had a fantastic season, and that is why that celebration is huge and big for them, because they understand that the only thing they need to do, stop dropping points, try to win as many games as you can, and of course that's the only way they can actually get forward when it comes to the MPFL. And how they celebrated that 17 minutes ago, simply because they faced to win 14 of their 22 fixtures this weekend, registering a league high of 12 losses, and are just 1 place above relegation zone in 16th with 26 points, narrowly ahead, of course. Kwara United, Plateau occupies 17 and 18 spots respectively. All right, joining me now to talk about the MPFL, the Champions League, and of course NWFL. Yes, that's going to be our focus tonight on the show. You can say it's a football show. Yes, we have to do that, and sometimes it's always a football show, but you're lucky tonight because it's a football show from the home ground and of course to across Europe. Kehinde Idris is here in the studio. Kehinde, how are you doing?
Very good. Good to be here. Met you while you're talking about, you know, our league, and, you know, seeing pictures on the screen. Same old story as it stands. But For Remo Stars, I don't know. Defending the title they won last season has been pretty tough. It's been crazy. In fact, below par, what we know of Remo Stars, we're not seeing any of that DNA. If this were to be, the case of a child, Remo Stars cannot be the father of that child in any way. The way they played last season compared to how they are playing now, and maybe sometimes
you think because you're playing in Ibadan, but it's not you're playing in Ibadan means that because they were banished away from the side. That fan violence, that happened the last time, so they're no longer playing Kenya. They're playing, but that Lagos Amalemi Stadium, I'm like, what the heck? What the heck?
That stadium was just
refurbished. Yeah, like 2 years ago, in 2024, exactly. Right?
Also,
I mean, just plant the grass and water it. It's easy. It's not so hard.
Coaching issues
with
since Ijabol, and all of that.
It's with the Super Eagles. You think that's actually affecting them? Yeah. But can they have a capable assistant that can also be with
I don't think he's still with Remo Stars.
Okay, there is no official report,
but
so we really can't categorically say
he's with them. He's not with them. See when you.
What's the true story? You behind the scene?
The true story is Ijabol and Remo Stars are not on the same page no more.
Okay, maybe you need to explain
what we're waiting for is for them to make it official. But even when Super Eagles had breaks, Ijabol wasn't in charge.
Yeah, I think there's some games that we didn't actually see him.
He did not. Yeah. He wasn't in charge. The moment we finished the Nations Cup, Fidelis Ilechukwu was well celebrated back to Rangers. I'm sure you saw that video. Did you see?
I didn't see anything like that.
No.
Maybe you think maybe it's the position they are currently in, because I mean the way they celebrated this 79th minute go by Ahmed Akinyele. I mean the long range strike. I mean they were celebrating. I'm like you're the champions. Yeah. You're playing against a team that is rooted at the bottom, and you're celebrating your equalizer to have a 1-1 draw as if there was something spectacular.
They are in a bad place. I cannot blame them. Yoruba has a saying. He said, if you're running not to be disgraced, the moment you get disgraced, all you'll be running for is to not lose your life. Remo Stars, they are on the path of not being disgraced. Now, it is relegation or don't make it worse than what it is right now. So there is no shame in they are facing their reality, and I think maybe they've called themselves and told themselves the aim for this season is to probably make top 10. The aim for this season is to not go the drop. Remo Stars looks like they don't have business in the top 4. But anything happens in the MPFL. And I wanted to say that there is something about the MPFL. The only reason why we don't give it its flowers enough is the kind of stories that emanate from there, referee, crowd issues and all of that. But the MPFL is competitive. That's why if you hear of away win, away draw, you understand that it is worth celebrating, because you would have imagined what that team had to go through for them to get those results. And also, in the last 2-3 seasons, we've started seeing, frequent results in that. And look at Warri Wolves, Kun Khalifa, Barao FC, what's the last team? El Kenemi. All teams that just got promoted. Yes, you might say where they are on the league table is not so envious, but they play some amazing football.
Now, let's take a look at what Benin Insurance now, how they lost that their unbeaten run, because Benin Insurance started at a point we thought they were going to be one of those teams that would go on relegation, and then they started stringing wins together. I mean, you understand? So he got there. He needed to have them firing from all cylinders. I mean, the players they rallied round. And right now, you've seen Benin Insurance, pushing up 9 games unbeaten. But Shooting Stars just ensure that, all the effort, they have to end it somehow.
Yeah, that's what it is. And then Shooting Stars, if not for recent results, started the season a bit lukewarm. I think the first 3-4 games. After that, they picked like a house on fire. And then they went on that run, coasting. And yes, that really pushed them to the top. At a point, again, they slowed down. But for Bendel Insurance, that was the tactical change where Kennedy Boboye came. Kennedy Boboye met this team in 19th position. That's to tell you how dire their situation was. And then before you know it, they are talking about 5th. Now they are even high in continental positions, as a stand. So spring of results. And yes, if you check the points between maybe top 3 and then bottom 4 in the MPFL, you'll be amazed at how everything could change in 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
You'll be amazed that you get 2 bad results, and a second place team or third place team can be in the 15th or 16th position.
I wish you can see that strike by Kama Adegoke. I mean, it was the one, that 71st minute strike. You know, that the way he scored that goal, it was worthy of a game. You would say, you know, they got their maximum point, and that win actually moved Shooting Stars to 6th on the log on the league table with 35 points from 22 matches. So, you know, before they went on, Insurance were 5th, and then they were 6th. Now they have to, like, kind of, how do I put it now? They swap.
They swap, yeah.
So exactly. They're now better than the Insurance. But then, if you take a look at Benin Insurance, Shooting Stars, for instance, that team, you can also say they're doing something really, really remarkable.
Yeah.
I mean, the way they actually put up this season.
Now, especially in those first 4-5 games,
yes,
the critics, you know, were out. We started calling them out. But they did something during the break. I wanted to say summer, but I remember we don't have summer yet. They did something during the break. They did a revamp. Brought in new faces, coach, management staff, and all of that. Then they also found a way to connect with the fans. So they had to take Shooting Stars away from the stadium, away from their dressing room. They toured Ibadan just to have, you know,
feel of the fans.
Let us reconnect, because we need you to push us, you know, crossing the line. Sometimes your skill, your tactical ingenuities and all might not be enough. That scream, that shout, that morale, that, you know, belief from the supporters who are in the stadium, especially on match days, might just be all that is needed. Sometimes you're so weary, you're feeling tired, but you hear, just go, boys, and then you're feeling like there is a weight pushing you from behind. So that was what Shooting Stars did. But when the season started, it was like, oh, after all of this, but the moment they peaked, we saw that, okay, some works are being done and now it's showing. And also kudos to Aweroro, who did so well with Ikorodu City, and then you know, went to Shooting Stars. The moment we saw it with Ikorodu City, we thought, okay, maybe it's a house that he knows, and he knows how to use the boys. I think this is a testament to the fact that...
But it's still south.
Yes, yes, you start from there. Fidelis Ilechukwu, until he got the Atlant job, it was MFM. Oh, how good was it? And then he got the Atlant job. It was the reason why Atlant did not get relegated. Then he went to Plateau United. We saw what he did. With Rangers also, although this season has not. So now, if you're talking about one of the top coaches in the MPFL, Fidelis Ilechukwu will definitely be there. Aweroro is starting, and we're already seeing signs of. This man is not a one-man team. He has gone to another team. He's getting results.
Second team
and there is something about MPFL. It's just like the English league. We circle coaches a lot. Of course. So maybe next season or 2 seasons from now, you'll hear Aweroro in another club outside of the Southwest. Yeah,
it's possible. And another remarkable result, I mean, the standout for me was Nasarawa United against Abia Warriors. I mean, going into the game, Abia Warriors were second, Nasarawa were third. And of course, that victory, actually, you know, that away win that they got in Umuahia was actually remarkable for Rangers, you know, for Nasarawa United. 2-1. I mean, that's a real standard there.
Yeah. I didn't see that coming.
Abia Warriors took the lead. It was Emeka Obioma who scored first, and of course, they responded. You have Habuba, and of course, the other guy also scoring, Joe Frank. There were 2 guys who scored, coming from a goal down. To win away from home. But another thing is, just also take a look at this stadium. I understand it's Hamatan right here in Nigeria. That's what we call it. It's Hamatan. But then you can actually, I mean, water the grass.
We are very reactive. We are not proactive. We all know we'll get Hamatan season.
So you have to maintain your stadium.
Sometimes we have said it time and time again. That maybe you should just declare a state of emergency for 2 years. Everybody go and fix yourself, and then because
these are government-owned clubs.
We want to sell our football. Tell me, Kazakhstan. In fact, who would you sell this to outside of Nigeria? This is our football, and they want to take you serious. Who wants to put his brand against something like this? These are the questions that are being asked. But we, like they say, there is a way you grew up with something. You just understand how to enjoy it. we found a way to enjoy our MPFL, and that's why, you know, you and I could come here, wax lyrical about the games, you know, about the results, about players, about, you know, statistics from there. And we could even tell you that they play some amazing football.
Yes.
The only problem is there is no TV. And then now you're just mentioning Nasarawa going to Abia Warriors. I said I didn't see that coming up because I do not think Nasarawa could beat, you know, Abia Warriors. But Abia Warriors has been fantastic also. Last season, they were you know, they fall short, you know, being in the Champions League. And they've continued from that. But Nasarawa United, I've said it time and time again, continue to be amazing.
They need to be amazing, really. But we need to go on a break. We'll come on, potentially look at the games that will be played, midweek games on Wednesday. That's tomorrow. Also taking a look at the Champions League and touchdown on WFA. The reason why they are on Manchester break. Literally speaking, we're going on a break. When we come back, Sports Tonight will continue on all other platforms, but DSTV platform we have Inside the Niger Delta with Mahmoud Akoga. Stay with us. All right, time to take a look at match day 23. Yes, the fixtures for you are this midweek: Kano Pillars and Katsina United. Now, this is a cracker because Kano Pillars need this win to try and see if they can avoid relegation this season. But it's a tough one. Abia Warriors, after losing a hope, they're hosting a Wiki Tourist. Bayelsa United and Niger Tornadoes will also be in action. Korodu City and Shooting Stars. Shooting Stars are playing derby back-to-back, right? Remember Insurance, and now they're coming to Lagos to play Korodu City. Kun Khalifat and Kwara United will also be in action. Nasarawa United hosting Eimba, who are floundering at the moment. Plateau United and Rangers International. This is another game to look forward to. Rivers and Economic Warriors and Warrior Wolves and Remo Stars. Remo Stars were not being able to, well, not having a good season. Warrior Wolves that lost to Rangers 4-2 might just be what will spur them on to see if they can beat the champions. It's hard to actually call Remo Stars the champions because of how they're playing this season. So what game are you looking forward to, Kende?
I've got 4 outstanding games.
4 outstanding, okay.
Yeah, that
so
which first one is Ikorodu City versus Shooting Stars. Like you said, it's a derby. And then, you know, Ikorodu City also going against the odds to be where they are right now. For Shooting Stars, beat Ikorodu City, who are one of the top teams, and then continue to accrue points of those teams at the top. So I would have my eyes on that because it's a derby and also the reason I gave. Then there's Katsina versus Kano Pillars.
Yes.
This picture should have the entire body of the management setup
of MPFL
on that
ground.
Every year, whether it's Kano or at home or Katsina at home, it's always crazy. So if we don't have all hands on deck, security, steward, everybody, then we're doing nothing. And Kano Pillars need this game, Katsina needs this game. So expect anything to happen. So I'll have my eyes on that. Then Nasarawa versus Eimba.
Yes.
Because Nasarawa has been fantastic. Eimba has been appalling. They've been shambolic. I don't know what's happening to them, although they also have management and coaching issues. And I think, you know,
they need to sort it out.
Those dressing room problems can really affect you on the field.
The field of play.
I want to see that. Then every day, all the Rivers United, Economic Warriors. I'm a Rivers United fan, even though I love my Lagos clubs. Because of Finidi George, I want to see how he continues his fine run against
We had China on the show on Friday. Was so confident that yes, Rivers are the ones winning the league this season. Well, your fans love you, so try not to prove them wrong. Tomorrow they'll start another journey to see how they can win the league this season. Now let's touch down on NWF. Of course, something big coming. We're expecting to see fixtures. But on the 20th, there was a press release that went to all the clubs saying that the league will be on hold temporarily until February 18th. And what is the reason? The decision comes after that match day 7 when a particular club actually said they have a significant numbers of their players not available to play, and that's the reason they are actually, they won't be able to play. And of course, these players are with the under-20 women's national team, the 4 Cornets. And because the 4 Cornets are this year, they will be playing at the FIFA Women's World Cup. So the qualifiers, and also they are in camp with, of course, you know, their new coach, Moses Aduku. So those players are there. And that's the reason the chief operating officer Modukbe Shabi, you know, right now they don't have a chairperson. We're still waiting for when NFF is going to appoint who the person is. So she confirmed that postponement, noting that they have to take the interest of the competitive nature of the league and not just that, a balance and fairness across the league. And that is why action is on hold, and match day 8 will be February 18th. What do you think?
I'm sad that I have to come hard on the NWFL management because they've been amazing. I give them their flowers. Over the years, organizations standing their ground. You know, if you cannot meet this level of readiness, you won't be part of the NPFL. NWFL. That's why we've had different numbers over the years: 12, 14, 16, 18. Whichever number that is ready, we start the league. But this is a senior league.
Yes.
And then we're talking of under 20 girls. I understand you've got a number of them in the league.
My heart is telling could be FC Robo or Nasarawa United, because Masaramism, because those two, those two teams have very, very young players.
Yes, but this is the senior league.
So I'm thinking it could be one of them.
There is nowhere in the world another competition has stopped the league. In fact, even the senior tournaments, if it happens that it is during the season, they will find a way around it.
I think what they will now do, they're supposed to go on a break after match day 9, so 2 weeks break, but now the break is going to be one week.
Yeah.
So that's different. So that's going to be one. So it may not alter much of the calendar. But one team I've actually welcomed that says going to give them, it's actually helping. It's helping. They commended the NWFL for being proactive, for having a proactive approach to safeguarding the integrity of the competition. I don't know if those players are from Delta Queens, but they did not mention the clubs. I've asked questions, and they don't know to mention the clubs because they're thinking maybe a hand will be on them, but I don't know. But Delta Queens has said that this will actually help them to be productive, and of course, they're going to fine-tune preparations for the resumption of the league. So some clubs are actually happy for the break.
You know, Cecilia, sometimes as Nigerians, as Nigerian sports journalists, they make our job so hard.
Yeah, it is difficult.
Somebody will stop you on the way and ask you some questions, and trust me, Cecilia,
you can't answer.
You don't have
it's
answer.
easier for you to ask Ateta some questions. He gives you the answer.
Exactly.
Or you talk to the head of communications or Arsenal brand management. They'll tell you what you need to know. But here,
why do you shield information?
They will you talk to the head of media and communication, and he will tell you that it was deliberate that they released this. They didn't bring out his press statement at all. What they did was to send letters to the clubs. So it's from the clubs that we got getting the information. And he started asking, and the head of media and communication will tell you that they just did not want to mention the club. What's the reason?
Why?
And they won't tell you.
Why?
And then you're asking yourself, okay, why can't you just...
And then Nigerians are waiting out there to watch Cecilia give them the full information.
Comprehensive.
And then you're also in the dark.
Yeah.
And then when you fill up that vacuum that they've created with information that you were able to gather, somebody will come and say, you did not hear from us. How am I supposed to wait and hear from you?
When I ask,
you weren't saying anything, and I didn't need to ask. It's supposed to be a public news. It's supposed to be out there.
Yeah.
But, like I said, I think the management of the NWFL have been fantastic for me over the years, awareness and all of that. But this one, they got it wrong. This one, there is no me forgiving or looking away from it. This is under 20 competition.
Yes.
So tell me, if it happens that the league is still on and we have the senior national team, a lot of players come from there. We'll have another break.
Of course.
How many
breaks can you have?
This is not what you do. Any other competition should not hinder the senior league. We're not talking of the championship, the second tier. We're talking of the top league.
You know the beauty. There's something. Ghana last week released a statement that they're going to start the FIFA under 15 girls league under 15 in Ghana. If you check this new Ghana FA, check what they did in the last 2 years since they came on. Something different. So when Ghana starts going far and the under 17, under 20 level,
5 years from now,
because they now have the league backed by FIFA, by virtue
and then they just tap the players from the league
the women's
directly.
project that FIFA funds. If you have an idea, you have a league you want to fund when it comes to women, FIFA will help you fund this. And so I don't know why we're not taking advantage of this. So Ghana, for them, starting on the 15 league for women.
Do you know one of the issues I have with Nigeria? If Cecilia calls the NFF or the NSC national and say this is an idea for you to, you'll find some people tell you, no, it can't work. This is the way we've been doing it, and we'll continue. Do we have to continue doing things the same way? The NPFL, we've said it time and time again, must we have 20 teams? Are you better than the Scottish League? Are you better than the German League? These leagues don't have 20 teams, but who want to do 20 teams? We that was supposed to be doing 8 teams. Who are the serious ones? Are you ready? Do you have a good stadium? Do you have a good fan base? Where is your bond? All these questions we're not asking. The women's league, how many of them have a home? How many of them play in a good place? You'll find the women's league being played in Legacy Stadium. And it beats you, it gets you.
I think they stopped that. They started playing.
I'm just, you know, the kind of some now, Legacy is even better than
there's
some
a program I was trying to remember. The FIFA's Women's Football Development Program. That's the name of the program. So that's where Ghana is actually leveraging on this to officially launch the maiden edition of the FIFA Under-15 Girls Regional Court Leagues. And it was launched at their headquarters. So that was last week, Friday. I mean, when I heard the news, I'm like, okay, what are we doing? And we talked about the fact that, yeah, we started the league, you know, Nigeria was one of the countries in the world, not in Africa, to start a professional league. But right now, well, I don't know where we're going. There's WAFCON in March, right? So we're preparing for that. And hopefully, we're tied to 11 will be asked. I don't know how possible that is with the way all the countries are taking women's football seriously. Now, let's quickly touch down on Rivers United. My producer wanted to talk about that. I wanted to skip it, but we'll just touch down on it for you fans, right? I know you guys really want to hear what happened. And most of you already know the results. Rivers United were condemned to win this game, but they came back with a point. So it simply means, well, mathematically, I don't have a calculator here. I can't calculate anything. It's just a league phase. When you have 1 point after playing 3 matches, what happens? Obviously, you can't get out of that group. Now, remaining fixtures for the Champions League for Rivers United, not just Rivers United, of course, for the CAF Champions. Rivers United and Power Dynamos, they will play on the 1st of February. That's when they will be playing this one. And of course, against Pyramids FC, they'll also be at home. You know the home I'm talking about is, Akpabio Stadium in New York. They will be playing on the 6th of February. That's when they'll play the champions at Pyramids FC. And RS Bekene, they will be away from home. And this one, that's in Morocco, on the 13th of February. That's on Friday. So this is remaining fixtures. Can they win all these? That's the big question, because in Dynamos, they went to Zambia. They came back with just 1 point. It ended goalless. They could not score. So Zambia, as I said, Dynamos, Power Dynamos and Rivers United have just 1 point from 3 matches. So they need to win this one to stand a chance of getting out of that group. Possibilities?
There is no possibility. You can't do that.
You think they can win one away game and then win their 2 home games?
Which you want? They want to win.
We're
against,
looking at this.
They want to win against.
Win this 3. Win this 3. That's 6 points. Of course, win this one. That's 9 points.
Win which one again? RS Bakken. Beat Pyramids.
Yes, it's possible. It's a football.
You know the love I have.
Are you really that mean?
You know the love I have for Rivers United. They are the most consistent team in the last 6 years in our football, our club football. And I give them that. Managers from Stanley Guma, now to Finidi George, I think they've been pretty consistent. But this one, no. There is no sparing Rivers United. That first 3 games, they fumbled it.
Yeah.
At least, you should have won 1 and drew 1. They drew 1. They should be on at least 4 points right now. Yes. And then you'll be aiming for, say, 9 at the end of the day, to see if there is anything that can fall short. You're playing Pyramids at home. There is nobody in the whole Rivers United setup that can tell you who beats Pyramids.
At home?
At home.
In Nigeria.
Which home are we even talking about? We're talking of a borrowed home. That is neutral ground. Rivers United don't train in that place. It is not their training where, when it is your home, you understand every contour that is on that field. You understand every corner, how you cross from year to year, and it goes like this. I was listening to Manchester United players back then. They were like, at the Old Trafford, we know everything that is to be. Because this is how this passed from, because they live there. They don't live in Uyo. So Pyramids, who are a better team than you, who can quickly adapt because of their class, will come to a neutral ground to play you. Even if it were to be your home, you can't beat your chest. Now you're going to a neutral ground. You've already disenfranchised yourself. Rivers United, this is going to be tough. Against Dynamo, I'm not even assured that we can win.
Okay. I think we'll leave it there. I know when it's closed, we'll come back and revisit.
And I want to go and win in RS Bakken.
We can actually win in Morocco. Is it possible?
Wow.
Yes, it is possible. All right, we're going to be taking a look at the UEFA Champions League. What the final stage of the group phase is here. All games will be played on Wednesday night across Europe. AS Monaco and Juventus be in action. Ajax and Olympiacos, Arsenal and Karat Almaty. Now, Arsenal need to maintain their unbeaten run. You have 15 teams already in the round of 16, but 2 are guaranteed spots already, which is Arsenal and Bayern. So all they need to do is to finish strong. And of course, Arteta has become a motivational speaker, talking to his players to finish strong in this one. Athletic Club and Sporting will also be in action. Sporting, remember what they did to PSG. Atletico and Bodo Glimt. I mean, Bodo Glimt actually shamed Man City. So these teams, you can't underrate them. Barcelona and Copenhagen will also be in action. You have Bayern Leverkusen and Villarreal, Benfica and Real Madrid. You have Napoli and, of course, Chelsea. Now, this is a difficult one for Chelsea. Manchester City will hosting Galatasaray. Of course, Sima is back, and Man City needs to win this and hoping for results to go in their favor for them to get into the round of 16. Liverpool and Karabakh will also be in action. PSG and Newcastle. You have Union Berlin and Atalanta. PSV, Eindhoven, and Bayern Munich. Of course, Frankfurt and Tottenham Hotspur will wrap it up for the final fixtures of the group phase of the UEFA Champions League. Who is going to make history? I know you're going to have that record. Now, you have confirmed teams in the round of 16. Of course, you have Arsenal and Bayern Munich. Now, confirmed in the round of 16 for knockout phase playoffs. These are the teams. You have Atalanta, Atletico Madrid, you have Barcelona, Chelsea, Inter Milan, Juventus, Liverpool, Manchester City, Newcastle, Paris Saint-Germain, Real Madrid, Sporting, Lisbon, of course, Tottenham Hotspur. These are the teams confirmed for that playoffs. Already out of it, Frankfurt, Karat Almaty, Slava Praha, and Villarreal. All of them are out of the Champions League sports. You have 16 teams that will be playing that round of 16. Of course, you have a lot of teams that are already in. But now, let's talk about Manchester City. When you have opportunity to just, kill it, you didn't do it. Now you're going to be waiting in the wings for results to go your way for you to be able to get into what you needed to do. Now, in the previous meetings with the Turkish club side, that was against Fenerbahce in the first round, 1968 and 69. That was European Cup. The Istanbul side won 2-1 on aggregate. Now, Galatasaray are unbeaten in their last 4 UEFA competitions against English teams, winning 3 and drawing 1. So, Man City are on the verge of actually suffer back-to-back losses in the Champions League. That hasn't happened to them.
Yeah, especially under Guardiola.
Yeah.
There is a whole lot happening on final match day, which is match day 8 in the Champions League. And I would say kudos to UEFA. We're in January, and it will spill into February, and we're still discussing UEFA Champions League group phase, UEFA Champions League first phase. We'll be talking about round of 16, late February, March. Yeah. That's the level they took. They sat down, thought of it. Give them more football. We love it. Sorry to the players, you have to play more football, but we, the fans, we love it.
You're loving it.
It is a final match day. If you remove Arsenal and Bayern Munich, anything could still happen to everybody.
Because 17 teams are struggling.
These teams that I'm talking about, from Real Madrid down, everybody wants that spare rest. If you get into the playoff spot, you play 2 more games than any other person in the group phase. Any rest you can get in today's football because of the competitions, more football to be played, you will take it with both hands. That is why Arsenal and Bayern Munich, they are already sealed to be off those 2 games. Man City, you just mentioned. 11th. Man City mostly looks like they will be in that playoff spot. Already they are struggling this season. We can see from injuries to not having their players step up and all of that. And then you want to have 2 more games to what you have on your plate. You're still in the Carabao Cup, still in the FA Cup, and then the league. It's a whole race on its own. Any rest you can get, you want to. But Man City look like they won't be getting that rest. They will play 2 more games compared to those they are competing against. Chelsea, Real Madrid, Barcelona, all of these names still need results to go their way, because if everybody can be in top 8, everybody wants to be in top 8. And that's why the final match day is still giving us goosebumps. It's still giving us something to look out for. Except if you're a neutral, just look away from Arsenal and Bayern game. But every other game, I've got something on it.
They're actually among one of the teams on 13 points on 13 points, because they have 11. They have 11 points, and one of those teams are 11 spots, and of course one of those teams on 13 points. Let's listen to Pep Guardiola talking ahead of this game.
I would prefer to have more, but here's what we deserve: 30 points. We need to focus and try to win our game. And seeing which position we finish. I'll try to win tomorrow. Galatasaray is a league in the Turkish league. You see the players, all of them are exceptional. We have to make an incredible effort with our fans, give more that we can give for the situation, for them. A lot of absence that we have, and after we see what happens. That's for sure. They don't know exactly with which player is going to play tomorrow, and the way we are going to attack and defend tomorrow, they don't know it, I think, except have some spy here in the locker room and is going to tell him. So that is not going to happen. So I would do it, of course. Gundo, and especially Gundo, have been in 1,000 million meetings together. So. But at the end, my colleague and myself, we don't play. Gundo plays, Leonard play, and our players play. That will be the difference, not the tactics.
Winning is what is important, right? Tactics may not even make much difference when you are trying to win, but sometimes it does. I mean, Galatasaray team were established by Ike Gundogan, former captain of Man City, Galatasaray. Leroy Sané, former player, also Galatasaray. Of course, we have our own Victor Osimhen, who's been 50 goals in 56 or 59 games. 56 games. That's a monster, right?
Yeah.
Monster performance there. But we know they've got Haaland. I mean, 20 goals. That's why that long spell there hasn't been scored.
When I listened to Guardiola this last speech, when he said tactics, it's not what we're looking at. We just want to win. Go back to years ago when Finidi George said formation is not so important, except if the players know how to interpret it as the match goes on. Maybe he did not put it in the right way. What he's saying is having players who wants to cross the line is way more important than wanting you play 4-4-3, 4-4-2. And that's what Guardiola wants his player, whether it's 10-10-1, just win.
Let's listen to, I've talked about Arteta at the beginning of the show, but we need to listen to him before we leave the show, because Arteta has been talking about what he told his players to ensure that they finish strong. They are on the front for 4 titles. 4.
Been excellent. We took a moment to bring the temperature down, to pause and to reflect and ask 2 questions. One is, how do we feel? And how do I feel myself? And then how we want to live the next 4 months. And it was so encouraging and beautiful, because what came out of that is very simple. We have earned the right to be in a great position in 4 competitions. And in the next 4 months, we're going to live and play with enjoyment, with a lot of courage, and with the conviction that we're going to win it. And this is going to be the mindset and where we're going to put the energy. And I'm just hoping that everybody that is related to this club, especially our supporters, jump on that boat, because this is the way that we're going to live the next 4 months, because we deserve to live like this. Because I told them, first of all, how good they are and how grateful we are to share every single day with them, and with the position to realize where we are. And just let's make sure that we enjoy with a lot of conviction that is going to happen, because it's our moment and we really want it.
Courage, right? Conviction, fearless. I mean, that's the best way to go. I mean, if you need someone to actually, give you the boost, entertain you, and tell you what to do, Arteta is the man to go to. I love what he said. I mean, that's giving me
I want to tell everybody, if you're watching us, you need to see Cecilia in the studio. Fearless, courage.
Conviction. Come on.
Conviction.
But win the league this season.
I think one of the
so
things,
long.
like you said off camera, motivational speaker. I think this guy knows how to use words, for his player, and also, knows how to relate to the media. So let's see. They want to finish the group phase strong, and he said that is the same way we want to go the remaining 4 months, which is they want to be in the final by June. So that's the way to go. By May, that's the way to go. So all you need to tell them is the way you started it, finish it off that way. You don't want to sleep. And then the more wins you get in competitions, the more your confidence grows in that competition. But I remember Liverpool last season.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming. You want to go on and on and on. Thank you so much, Kehinde, for joining me on the show tonight.
It's always fantastic being here with you.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Omogbe. So be fearless and have courage and conviction and enjoy whatever you're doing. Good night.